a reason to engage with you. The investors have a reason, but they would take that relationship or exchange, right? Yeah, they may like you, but they may not trust you. So likability is good, but trustability is what leads to an actual action, and that is a hard one to do. It's consistency. It's day to day. It's at every moment of truth, and it's kind of based on, people ask me, so what is one advice you would give young entrepreneurs? If there was one advice, I would say listen. It may sound silly, but people don't listen. People listen. They don't listen to learn. They listen to respond. They listen to respond. But when you listen, that means you've gained new intelligence. You've learned something new, whatever it is, whoever it is. Now your decisions are more improved. Listen to the employees, listen to the customer, listen to the investors, see how they're saying. And now, I'm going to give you advice on your investor side, because that seems like a pain.
Sure.
Investors are tricky.
Welcome back to another episode of the CVMK Show. This is the best podcast on the planet. Why? Because I'm the best podcast host, because it is what it is on this podcast platform. Look, you guys have been absolutely amazing. I want to thank the fans. If you go to Instagram right now, go to Meta, put in CVMK Global. We're about at 80,000. I think it's 79.3. I think that's the exact number. Obviously, that's the supplement side. We got the It Is What It Is show handle. I want you guys to connect with us on all social media platforms. CVMK Global, just put it in. You'll find us there. Subscribe. Go to YouTube at CVMK. One word, 4 letters. If you put that in YouTube, you'll see my handsome face, and we'll get the thing rolling. But look, this show has brought so many amazing voices, so many amazing influencers, so many, I would say, in their own niche, just rays of sunshine, sometimes controversy, sometimes, thought leadership, but it's always about trying to challenge us so we can grow and we can be better. I have with us Sid Mohasseb, and he's going to bring the real. Look, we're talking about leader, entrepreneur, author. If you hear sirens in the background, it's because I live in Chicago. I'm a real Chicagoan, and that's just the sound of the landscape. But it is what it is all here on the CVMK Show. But look, when we return from our break, I will be back with the one, the only Sid after this break. Sid, how you doing today, man?
I am excellent. And by the way, you're the best show because you have the best guest.
That's it. I got the best guest. That's what makes the show works, man. But look, I appreciate you.
And I'm glad that the sirens behind you is because you're in Chicago, not because they're after me.
No. That's somebody else. They're not after me. I paid on my ticket. So that's just Chicago. If you live here, that's what you're going to hear, man. But look, I'm so excited.
I know. Love it.
I'm so excited about being with you, man. I, connected with you. I know we've been trying to get this thing. I think we started messaging each other back in the summertime. So this has been a long time overdue, man. And, I've been on your website. I've been reading your profile, from a TEDx speaker to an adjunct professor to an author to a serial entrepreneur to an angel investor. That's a lot. That's a lot to unpack, right? Like, how did you get to this point that you are, that all these placards are behind you?
One step at a time, I suppose, Kobe. One step at a time. So I'm an immigrant, and I came to the U.S. in, people would know how old I am then if I tell you, 1976, when I was 16 years old, and went to school and slowly, went to different things and did different things. I was partner of a consulting firm. Then I did my own thing about building companies, and I did turnarounds for a while. And then I got into investing, and I ended up for a period at a $26 billion company as the strategic innovation leader. So I've sat pretty much on every damn seat that entrepreneurs sit in. And I have seen opportunities from both sides. I also teach, as you said, so I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of students, and so I can see it from different perspectives. Now, I used to be 6'2". I'm now about 5'3". So life has pounded me now.
It's kind of bounded you down.
And all of that got me to you.
That makes sense. All right, I want to go here. So you said like you came over, as an immigrant, and you went into entrepreneurship. Let me ask this: how do you deal with the weight of entrepreneurship? And let me explain. So I started my company. I started CVMK Global. My wife and I started 2021, right? Couple years of planning, launched 2021, and it's been fun and stressful at the same time. It's like a child that never grows up.
I was going to say, isn't it like having a kid?
It is, yeah. And I love it, and at the same time, I worry about it every second of the day. And I'm always thinking, how do we get to this point? How can we get eyes on the product? How can we increase our marketability? How can we increase SEO optimization? How can we increase investor interest? How do you deal with all that inner turmoil?
So you're gonna find me defining entrepreneurship differently.
Okay.
But let's deal with one of the chapters of one of my books. It's the art of being nervous. So it is a good thing. It's a really good thing that you sleep at night and you're nervous about the SEO or this or that or that. That means you're pushing the limits of your capabilities or where you are. If you're driving every day and you don't think about driving, you're not nervous about it. But hey, you drive in a storm and hail is coming and it's at night. You're limited. You're nervous. Well, because you're pushing the limits of your capability. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with being nervous. It actually means you're pushing the limits. You're doing new things. If you don't do any of that stuff, I think you wouldn't have any nervousness except running out of money. That could be a reason. But the thing is that the way I see entrepreneurship, and this is, the word entrepreneur was driven by a guy in France in the 1700s. It means, this is how he defined it: an entrepreneur is someone who has something and wants to exchange it for something of higher value. 50 years later, an Irishman added the element of risk. And he said, an entrepreneur is someone who has something, who wants to exchange it with something of higher value, knowing that there is risk. That means it's not guaranteed.
Right.
Okay, now, notice the definition. It doesn't say what you have. You have something. It could be your time. It could be your voice. It could be your product. It could be your creativity. You have something, and you want to exchange this with something of higher value, and it doesn't define what higher value is. Higher value could be money. Higher value could be satisfaction. Higher value may be playing more golf. Higher value may be having a boat. Higher value may be taking your kids to Disneyland every other day. You define. So if you take that definition, Martin Luther King is an entrepreneur. Mother Teresa is an entrepreneur. Every student that goes to college is an entrepreneur. We're all entrepreneurs. And this is proven by research that was done by one study in Texas A&M says 500,000 years ago we developed a gene that goes beyond us surviving like animals. It's a thriving gene. It because we want to thrive. We want to be something better. So we're all entrepreneurs. Now, what we have and what we exchange with and what we consider higher value and the degree of risk that we're willing to take to that exchange changes.
Yeah.
So how do I deal with it? Well, every one of us are unique. We're all unique, Cody. We're all very, very unique. There's 8 billion people on the planet, and no two of us are the same.
It's true.
So it's that uniqueness, it's that philosophy that we build within us. It's those who we are that defines who we can be. I loved something that you said earlier before we. I don't know if we before we got on. I think my mission today is to provoke people. I can't motivate people. No one can, because we're all unique. It's nonsense. I could tell you, hey, I've lifted 10,000 pounds, or I ran this, or I won the gold medal, or it doesn't really matter to you. It's you're not me.
Mhm.
Your family comes from a different place. Your race is different. Your money is different. Your friends are different. Everything about you is different. Your product is different. Who you sell it to is different. Everything is different. But we've been trained to live in this how-to society, Cody. That everything we want to get, say, how do I do that? Let's do 1, 2, 3, and you're going to become rich. You're
Yeah.
going to become happy. You're going to become. But if you focus on that uniqueness and believe that if you're provoked, if you see the vision, if you see who you are, if you believe in your authenticity, then and realizing that you are an entrepreneur, you can find what you want to exchange and what you consider of higher value.
So that's interesting. So this kind of swap, if you will, right? This sacrifice between the giver and the potential gift, right? It is evident, it is feasible to a certain extent. What I think, and you're right, everybody, because we all do it on some level, but how much of it, will vary from person to person. When we talk about the levels of it, sometimes I feel like what's happening in the entrepreneur space is because the world or society has become transactional, and there is this need for more, and there's nothing wrong with more, but more at the expense of what, right? On top of also the increased cost of surviving that can force you into this drive, right? We lose the purity of business. Right.
Absolutely right, Cody. I have I have in the recent I don't know 4, 5, 6 months. I don't know how long. Recently, I've been focused on this idea of saying, "Hey, folks, we gotta move on. We gotta move from profit to reason."
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, there is a reason that people engage with us, whether they're employees, whether they're customers, whether they're investors, whether there's society, whether there's our partners. What we have done is, and I teach at an MBA school, I teach at USC, and I am completely against this idea that everything we do is a bunch of folks on Wall Street that measure you by how much is your profit and how much is this ratio to that, where they have none of them have ever run a company. They have no idea what meeting payroll means.
Mm-hmm.
That sensing how hard it is that when you have to face people and say, I don't have your money, knowing that they have a pain, right? Or negotiating with your providers or suppliers, or getting money from investors. Those are all hard things to do. But the problem is that we have messed up. I mean, there's a better word for it, but it's rated X. We have messed up capitalism.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's now elitism. It's not capitalism. It's capitalism is you take risks, you take the benefits. It's you own your own responsibility. And
Right.
at the core of that was you build a business to provide some value, and for that value, people would appreciate and give you something. You build a business that people come to work and enjoy. And there are 5 pillars to any company, Cody. There is the customers, obviously, but
Right.
they say customer is king, but no king can manage a kingdom without other people.
Right.
It's there's the customer, there's the employee, there's the partners, there's the society, and there's the investors. Those are the 5 pillars that hold any business. Doesn't matter if it's Microsoft or Tesla, or if it's a donut shop around the corner. It doesn't matter. Those
Mhm.
5 things are critical. Let me ask you a question, Cody. You're a businessman.
Yeah.
Who makes the decision of a buy?
Of the buyer?
No, who makes a decision to buy your product?
Oh, the customer.
Okay, so they make the decision.
Yeah.
You have all these sales force to do what? They make no decision. So you don't make money. They give you money.
Right. Right.
Making money is when I make a decision. I say, I made this painting. I wrote this. It's when I do it. You don't do
Mm-hmm.
it. They do it.
Mm-hmm.
People pay you because of their own reasons, not because of your reasons, not because how fast and furious and how good of a BSer you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
They pay you because they think that the exchange of value between you and them makes sense to them. Right?
Right.
Okay? So it's their reason. Now, look at this. Look at your employees. You think you hire them and you give them money and you give them a thing, you say this is a job description and you expect some productivity. Do you know who makes the decision of how much productivity they give you? Who makes
They
a
do.
decision to take that job?
Right. They do. Yeah.
And they do it based on their own reason. My mama is sick. I need benefits, or I need to pay the rent, or I like to be close to whatever, or you pay me to spend more time at home, or the office is closer than where I had to drive for 4 hours. There's in their mind, they commit to being with you at 3 o'clock in the morning and thinking about you and giving you the creativity and innovation or not. You think you give them something, a job description, they decide what they really bring to the table.
It's true.
The same thing is about the providers, your partners. They decide if they give you a priority in delivering things, if they give you a better price than somebody else because you're a good guy, because you share a passion for football, or you're both from Chicago, or because you pay on time. They decide.
Right.
The same thing as investors. They decide. And they decide based on their own reasons. I've made investments in cancer companies because my mother-in-law had cancer. It was the stupidest thing financially possible.
Hmm.
But I liked the guy and I wanted to be about something. Right? And the same thing with society. We give and take with society all the time and we don't know it. It's not about being environmentally safe, or this is
Yeah.
we are giving and taking. The environment gives us a better people. They gives us less crime. They give us less and we give them taxes, and we give them clean air, and we give them we are these 5 things are always Cody changing. They're always in flux, never the same. The reasons of the people are never the same. You may sell to 25-year-olds, to 35-year-olds, but these are not the same people as 5 years ago.
No, they're not. They're not, and their demand is changing. So I want to talk about that likability. I know we got to cut to a break, but I want to cover the likability aspect from the customer and then from the investor. I got to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll be back with the one, the only Sid, discussing the likability portion of business after this break.
There's a hero in all of us waiting to be unleashed. All it takes is just that one last push. Activate the hero within with CVMK Global Supplements. All natural, steroid free, designed to enhance performance, build muscle, and increase energy. You are unstoppable. You can do this. Become your own hero at www.cvmkglobal.store.
With me, one of our pre-workouts, Warrior Thirst. I want you to get it today. The one I'm using right now is the strongest one, is the superpower. There's 3. This is the vibe. The other one is for just pure gains. and then MetaManla is a totally new wave, but only at www.cvmkglobal.store. Also, we're at Walmart and we're at Amazon as well. But if you want the best pricing, you got to come to the source, right? www.cvmkglobal.store. All right, so likability. Likability was a word that I heard when I first got my real major job. I was 27 years old. And, I just graduated with my MBA in finance, and I became VP of business development for this construction company. And, I'm going around and traveling, and, the CEO is like my mentor, and he's like, you're smart, you're polished. He said, but what you have to develop is likability. It doesn't matter. All this other crap doesn't matter. People have to like you. You are the product. And likability is hard because likability keeps changing. Right? Like, it's not a consistent thing. What people like today, they won't necessarily like tomorrow. You got to constantly repackage. But the second duality, or I would say the other part of this duality, is the likability from an investor standpoint. The problem or the challenge that some of us face is finding the right niche to tap into. And then having an investor actually like it, right? like I've presented so many decks. I have tried crowdfunding. I have been, you name it. I've, signed up for little monthly subscription clubs to certain investment circles, but it's all about trying to get this likability. So Sid, my question for you is, how do you get people to like you?
Well, see, this is the genuine versus ingenuine part of things. This is if you are who you are, and you find people, it's actually trust. Yes, likability is important, but I think it's trust that's more important, which is a three-way trust. It's not a two-way trust. First, I have to trust myself, meaning, can I do what I claim? Am I real? Am I BSing myself? Oh, we have this, let's build this vision. We're going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. And that's what the society teaches us. Oh, let's have big visions. Okay, big vision is okay. But if I can't deliver it, I can't play with LeBron James. Let's face it. I'm 5'3". I can't do it. So I can't sit here and have a vision board that says that I'm going to accomplish all these great things. So the first thing is, I have to trust myself in being able to deliver what I say I would deliver. When I do that, then the second is I have to have trust in other people. Trust in the people who work for me, trust in the people that then and only then they would trust me. Then and only then they would trust me. And then that's a compounding effect of trust. Now, if you go to the investors, I'll give you an example. I hear pitches all the time. I heard one pitch this morning, and the guy is talking about this, and our product does 80% better here and 76% better there. And I said, wait a minute, can you tell me where you got that 80%? And he said, yeah, I was talking to somebody and he says it's probably 80% better. Do you know what he did? He lost all trust. Everything else that he showed was completely nonsense to me. Because tell me, we expected, we don't know, we hope to, because if you were there, that would be a different animal than when you're here. The ability to raise capital, yes, you have to find the right investors. Yes, you have to have the right economic reasons for the exchange of. Yes, investors make an investment in order to exit most of the time. If they are professional investors, they're not doing it for a profit here and a little dividend there. So you have to show that roadmap, and most importantly, it's you. Because, for a time in my life in the 2000s, I probably saw 30,000 business plans because I was, president of a big angel investment entity and so forth. And I have not seen, and maybe somebody can challenge this, but I have not ever seen any business plan that got to the end the way that it was presented to us originally. Never. Button I push. This is what I think of you, buddy.
And you said that people, it has to be authentic.
Yeah. So so the key is that this people, as I said, have their own reasons. Everybody has.
Yo, check it out. I found some new sunglasses. Changing the game. I'm telling you, you got to take a look at this. By Firmoo. The name threw me off at first, not gonna lie. But looking at it, this is a game changer. These glasses made my IQ go up 50 points. but I'm liking, man. Hey, this is what's up. Look, a little handsome. I'm sharing. Look, get yours today. Use my code in the link below. Get 50% off. Amazing glasses, amazing brand, an amazing company. Firmoo. Get it today.
The reason to engage with you. Investors have a reason, but they would take that relationship or exchange or a swap, as what you would call it, of a value versus what they pay you, because they trust you. Not necessarily they like you. They should like you,
right?
But because they trust you. If they wouldn't trust you, they wouldn't. They buy your product because they trust it works. Right? Yeah, they may like you, but they may not trust you. So likability is good, but trustability is what leads to an actual action, and that is a hard one to do. It's consistency. It's day to day. It's at every moment of truth, and it's kind of based on, people ask me, so what is one advice you would give young entrepreneurs? If there was one advice, I would say listen. It may sound silly, but people don't listen. People listen. They don't listen to learn. They listen to respond. But when you listen, that means you've gained new intelligence. You've learned something new, whatever it is, whoever it is. Now your decisions are more improved. Listen to the employees, listen to the customer, listen to the investors, see how they're saying. And now, I'm going to give you advice on your investor side, because that seems like a pain.
Sure.
And investors are tricky, meaning that not all investors are created equally. There is an issue of valuation, that entrepreneurs want it to be here and investors want it to be here. There is an issue of mix and but then there is the mechanical issues of product. So, for example, you have a product, I saw it, and you have inventory. So investors don't want their money to be stuck in inventory. They may not tell you that, but you may say, "Oh, I want to do marketing. I want to do this and this." I said, but first you're gonna go pay to get inventory to put it over here. Then you can market, and then you don't have enough money to market, and then my money is stuck in this inventory. How much of this product can I eat myself? I can't have enough myself. So what am I gonna do? So there are things that they don't share with you, because they generally don't want to have the entrepreneur hate them or be upset, or so finding the right person who shares your vision, and then shares how you get in and how you get out is important. How you get in to the business and how you get out. If they feel that you're building a business and you're so close to it forever, they don't want to get in, because you're not going to be willing to go out. This is your baby. You don't want to throw it out, but an investor makes money when they get out. So you have to have a solution for them, or they wouldn't get in. So what I'm saying is, yes, investors have their own reason, but you have to find those whose reasonings are aligned with what you can actually deliver to them. And valuation is sensitive, meaning, here's the thing. If I tell you, hey, I love your business, I'm going to give you $1 million. You may say my business is worth 10 million. But if
Sure.
Elon Musk comes in and wants to give you the same million, you shouldn't. Your business is not 10 million. Your business is 5 million, because what he brings to the table is entirely different than what I bring to the table. Valuation is sensitive to who the investor is.
When did you feel? I know we're coming to a close, but when did you feel that your efforts were not in vain? Like, when did it click? Like, okay, you might not have had the million or the whatever, but it was progressive to the point where you knew that now this thing has some legs. Like, when did that feeling happen?
So here's the thing. The thing is, Cody, you ask a very good question, and this is a question that they've painted in our mind around these KPIs. And where is it when you have $1 million, or is it when you have this much sales or this much? And when do you pivot? The next question is, when do you pivot? This is not working, so I pivot. So, when you pivot means you hit a wall and then you turn left or right.
Right.
By the time you get there, you've lost the game. You have to be a dancer. You have to see how the timing of the market and the flexibility and all, how the winds are coming. And then you nicely shift. You nicely turn. You nicely change your... So it's not like, if I don't get there and I make X dollars, then I'm going to turn right or I'm going to tell her. This is what they've put us, they've injected this in us. Commitment until, be fearless. If you're fearless, you're stupid. Life is full of fearful things. You shouldn't be fearless. You should actually realize that this is fear, this is nervousness, and be able to deal with it. Because be fearless. Commit until no, we don't want to go to a war when everyone is killed and then figure it out that it didn't work. No, that's nonsense. If you look at great business people, if you look at great entrepreneurs, if you look at people that have achieved things, they have always been dancers. They see around the bend, and before they hit the wall, maybe in their life they've hit the wall once or twice. Yes, that's possible. But they've made 1 million decisions, and out of those, 2 of them was bad. But generally, they have evolved incrementally, and it doesn't happen. That's my first book was called The Caterpillar's Edge. Evolve again, and thrive in business. You're in business of evolving always, and if you evolve always, you would incrementally grow. A caterpillar doesn't wake up in one night and say, okay, I'm a butterfly now. It's not a switch. It's not a switch. If you are aware of the market dynamics, if you're aware of what your customers want, if you're aware, you slowly change. And as you change, you gain confidence in the business. As opposed to, I didn't meet this KPI, so this is bad. This is bad because you didn't change where you had to change. And that's why you get this result. It was the decisions that you've made has resulted into this consequence of X. Where do you give up? It's not a matter of I'm giving up on an idea. You never give up on you. The idea is a fabrication of you. You created it. The idea is still yours. It's not separate from yours. So as you change it, it's all your decision to change it. So you're changing it. That's okay. You haven't failed. You have just listened to the market and you've adjusted course. If you don't do that slowly, then yes, you have to pivot and you have to say, oh, I didn't make this much. The kids are hungry. Yeah, but I mean, those are realities. Those are realities.
I got one more and I'm gonna let you go. I know we got to take a quick break, but I got something before I hit you with the break. You talk about being a dancer, and we talk about the role of AI, right? And I think AI is, on my end, AI has helped because there's technology that saves me from outsourcing to a human being that could basically triple or quadruple my cost. But on the flip side, to say that it does not take away from others, would be disingenuous, right? So when we return, I want to talk about the role of automation. Good, bad, how should we handle it? How should us as leaders, entrepreneurs, workers adapt to it after this?
I literally just tried the best pre-workout on the planet. With Superpower pre-workout, you have increased focus and a power boost every single time you work out. It's not only packed with 225 milligrams of caffeine, but it also has citrulline and creatine. It's insane how much energy and focus I had during my workouts. If you're ready to take your workouts to the next level, then ditch your current pre-workout and get the Superpower pre-workout to be your own hero.
Oh, I told you, www.cvmkglobal, where it goes down, cvmkglobal.store, where it goes down. Best supplements on the market. I'm telling you, we are building the next wave of fitness. This is the new Nike. You heard it here first, but where Nike wouldn't go, we're going to go there. www.cvmkglobal.store. Superpower is what you need. All right, so automation is here. It's not coming. It's here. It's only going to progress. It is a tool that has saved me time. Now, it has a cost, but it's not as costly as human personalities. The problem is if we eradicate, and this is my fear, if we focus, and you said it earlier, on the greed and not the reason, if we focus on efficiencies and not people, we will eliminate our customers, because ultimately our employees are customers too, right? How should we handle the role of automation?
I actually had a very long talk about this idea of evolution and where we're going. So let me give me a minute.
Okay.
So the choice is not between efficiency and people. This is a false narrative.
All right.
The choice is between creativity and sameness. That is, we are used to this. We do these things because we're addicted to the way that we have grown. Oh, we have to do these jobs. We have to spend this. We have to do this. We have to do this. This is how we make a living. This is how we do this, and this is how we do that. Now, that's the sameness. So yes, people are afraid, and justifiably so, that they may lose their job.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when people created the fire, or when they created the car, and they said all of these people who are running horses and the people who clean up the streets, the poop of the horses, what are they going to do? They're going to be out of business. We have ruined their life. The thing is, we don't trust ourselves as humans that there is an evolution ahead, and that we have to okay, so it's changing. So just like the way it's changing, we found shoes and then we put them on. We discovered knife and tools, and then our teeth wasn't as big enough. We are at the cusp, at an interestingly wonderful, I would say, depending on how we look at it, at an interesting point in life, which is perhaps for another 40,000 years or so. It's not tomorrow. It's and some of us say, well, what does it have to do with me? We are at a point where we have to make a decision that do we see AI as the enemy? Are we the slaves or the masters? Is the choice between who? Well, if we decide not to grow creativity, a different dimension of evolution, then we have created something that can make that decision by itself to be better. So we stay here pushing back, and that is evolving. So yes, then we become a victim. But if we say, hey, this is a machine that can help me know better, do faster, and my job is to be creative. Think about this. Autonomous cars may be not here tomorrow. They may not be here next year. They may not be here in 10 years, but they'll be here in 20 years.
Yeah.
And guess what? People would be sitting in the back seat playing with their Facebook and Instagram all the time. Is that the future? Is that what we would do? What do we do? What do we do? What we have to do is we have to push our limit of evolution in a different direction. We should not teach our children to be afraid. We should teach our children to change and evolve, because that is our responsibility to humanity, that we go in the right direction and we become better human beings, better creators, better innovators, better things in the future.
Mhm.
But does that help the guy who's losing his job today? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But call it survival of the fittest. Call it survival. This is coming. If this thing, what you call the AI and automation, there is plenty of projections that puts this at $15 trillion, $15 trillion of economic value every year, starting 2030. Okay, now let me put that in context. That's 10 times the GDP of Russia and Canada. That is almost similar to 1.5 billion people work in China. That's massive.
Yeah.
That's 3 times the GDP of India. That is massive. It is massive. So it's not going to go away. It's here. So yes, I may lose my job, or my job may be challenged, and so let me learn new things. Let me do new things. So you see a lot of people being unemployed, and now they say, "Oh, I don't want to do that job." Well, my job is gone, but I don't want to do that. That's part of, I don't want to evolve. I don't want to change. I fundamentally believe that everyone, all of us, we are capable of more. We can achieve more. We can do more, only if we want more. Not more because more money and more this, and because we want more of ourselves. We want to be better. We want to evolve. We want to have a next best version of ourselves, because we are the art. We are the artist. Nobody else is doing that. This expectation of somebody else is going to poof. So what should we do? Eliminate AI and be faced with not curing cancer. The quantum chips that are now, and the tools, the Nvidias and the other things and the softwares, and they are processing things in 200 seconds. That would have been processed in 48 years. 48 years versus 200. So should we shut this down? Because if I have this, I can solve. We can discover the cure for cancer and 1,000 more diseases. We shouldn't do that, because all of these people who work in the healthcare industry would be out of a job. Can you imagine how much is spent on cancer? All these people, all these devices, all these facilities, all this. So what? We shouldn't solve the cancer problem because we're going to lose all these jobs. My point is, we have to step back and look with reflection on not only ourselves, but on our children and our future, and believe in ourselves that we can be more and we can get more.
I like that. Believe in ourselves that we can be more and we can get more. Dr. Sid, this has been an amazing conversation. Where can the people connect with you, man? There's I hear what you're saying, man. I might not live in LA, but I want to follow you. I want to get your book. Where can they get your book?
Sure. So my name is is Sid and Mohasseb, and my email is sid@mohasseb.com. They can find me anywhere. Let me talk about something that's coming for 30 seconds, Cody.
Sure.
Beginning probably end of December, beginning of January, we're going to announce the Anabasis Academy. Anabasis means moving the base upward. Yeah. And the entire purpose of the academy is to provoke people to realize that they could be more and they could get more, because everything starts here.
Yeah,
everything starts here. Realizing that we are unique, realizing this ideas of exchange, that all of this, the trust, the dealing with fear, dealing with nervousness, all of this, and realizing that entrepreneurship is not some gift of God, that it's just exchange. Sure. It is this, that you have something. You may have a job that you get up 6 o'clock in the morning, and you have a single mother and you have 2 kids at home. you're exchanging your time and those few dollars that you make with the happiness of your kid when you come home and make a dish, when you take him to Disneyland. You're exchanging that, and you are completely making the decisions of what you're doing. People say, how can I become an entrepreneur? I'll say, go across the street and see where you want to go buy dinner tonight. Then make a choice. Do I turn left or do I turn right? And realize that you just made that choice. You just made a choice that changed the direction of your life. You could have chicken or you could have meat. You could go left or you could drive right. You could take the wrong road and go by the ocean or the river or the jungle, or you could get stuck in traffic. You make that decision. We all have choices. Without change, without choice, we stagnate, and that's the sameness that's the problem. So the academy is coming. If you're interested, we actually are having sponsors that are going to pay for about 1,000 people.
Wow.
Pay their membership fee. But it's got to be around. If you're interested, send me something, and we can, when it's up, you can go and be put on the waiting list.
Y'all connect with Sid. Check out the Anabase movement. This is coming up. Like I said, they already got investors. They're guaranteeing 1,000 slots. Reach out, connect. This could be what you're looking for as far as upgrading, because we can do more. We can be more. And if you want to keep seeing leaders like we have on the day, amazing people, you know what you got to do. YouTube, one word, 4 letters, CVMK supplements, www.cvmkglobal.store. Connect with us on all social media at CVMK Global, where it goes down, because this is the best podcast on the planet. It has been a pleasure. And until next time, guys.
Pleasure was mine.
If you think exercise alone got me looking like this, well, think again. CVMK Global Super Thick got me right. I'm obsessed, and yeah, I won't stop talking about it because it helped me grow in all the right places. Its creatine provides a fast and reliable way to increase your power, size, and shape, and it's scientifically proven to help you reach your physical goals in a safe, controlled manner. So if you want to increase muscle size, pump, and thickness in your muscle groups, you need Super Thick.